So let's talk about this week, because it's going to be a really interesting week, and it's going to be an awesome week or it's going to be a crappy week. And it's 100% our choice which one it's going to be. So what I found myself forgetting to do over the last several days is writing myself my email. And so I was up early this morning and going through my day, and then write myself an email explaining how my day is going to go. And remember the miraculous Mondays and stuff like that. So I hope that you guys are, by intention, setting your day and setting your week, right? Because I know this is going to be the most fun, profitable week I've ever had in my life. And I know that. Now, I don't know exactly how that's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen. But there's about 10 items that I can control that I am working on, and I'll make sure that they happen. And then more stuff like that's going to happen. Like I put little things down, like I'm going to get a very unexpected phone call that's going to be really great news today. Isn't it good to have that idea? It might get your mindset. Yeah, it gets you a little gratitude, gives you a little mindset, gets you in a good mood to figure it out. But I also know what my outcome is, right? And that's what I wanted to start talking about for just a couple seconds here this morning, is what is the goal? What is the goal? Because we got to know why we're playing this game. And I hope it's becoming a game. I know it's a game and it's a sport to you. I know this is a game and it's a sport to me. I know it is Craig. I know it is the management team. I know, because we've evolved into that mindset of this is fun. Who can I help today that's going to result in a nice chunk of cash of which I could deploy to do certain things to put a big ass smile on my face? What are you doing this for? So my outcome right now is to create enough cash to buy income producing assets that spin out a certain amount of cash. Does that make sense? And I know many of your goals is the exact same on that one too, but at least you just remind yourself as far as what you want to do. And that's it. That's the game almost out of this game. But that's the goal. So as a reminder, so what did you review your primary aim this morning? Did it excite you? Do you have a primary aim? And if some of you are just going little lump in your throat and you don't have a primary aim, then you're probably gonna have a crappy week or a lackluster week because there's no reason for it to be good. It's that simple. So did you review your primary aim? Do you know what's going to happen to you by the end of this quarter? Do you know how much income is going to be generated by you as a result of your efforts for this quarter? And you know what you're going to do with that cash? Because if the answer is no to those things, then you can't have a good week because there's no direction of what kind of week to have. So I hope those of you who are watching that don't have that, I hope that you just get a little subtle smack to yourself and says, damn it, I really need to do that. But do it. Like, make an appointment, open up your calendar right now, and from 10 o'clock until 11:30 or 1 until 3 or 3 until 5 or 7 until 9 or 9 until 11, make a date with yourself and get your stuff straight, guys. Get clear about what you want and why are you playing this game? Because it's no fun to play a game if you don't know what the rules are and you don't know when you can win. So I wanted to start with that reminder this morning because I think it's very important to do.
It's the single most important thing, and it is, we've looked at this many, many times. You know, look at our top agents in just our company alone, how diverse that group is. You got males, you got females, all you have, every race, they're so diverse as human beings, right? The one thing that is constant among all top agents is the fact that they know why they're playing the game. That's it. They have something they're working for, something that they are committed to, whether that is trying to be the number one agent in the world, whether that is to save income or to go buy income producing properties, whether that is to add to retirement, whether that's for a college fund, whether that's to go buy a new car, whether that's to pay debt, doesn't matter. They have something that they are 100% committed to, and apparently my audio.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say you're very tinny. It's like you're coming to us from a metal trash can. So while he's doing that, guys, really take the time, be honest with yourself. If I called you right after this training and said, hey, let's talk about let's talk about the life that you're designing for yourself and describe it to me. And how much income does that take? And what do you need to, what's the step for Q3 that you need to hit in order to put a big ass smile on your face? And if you honestly don't have the answer to that question, you guys need to take some action right now, immediately, and say, damn it, you're right. I'm going to do it. Okay. Whatever it is. Yeah, that's good, Brian. 5 listings. Okay. 5 listings is good, but why? What are you doing with 5 listings? Will probably spit off 25 grand, 20 to 25. I don't know the price point, 20, 25, 30, 40 grand maybe this quarter, which is great until you know what, unless you got to know what you're going to do with that 25, 30, 40 grand. And that's the question I need to know the answer to, because if that's not exciting, if you can't spit that answer out, then it's not going to happen. It'll be sabotage. You will sabotage it. Something will sabotage it. It won't happen because you don't need it. And guys, I'm telling you, that's the secret to this whole business here. So good. You took the bait. You took the bait. You're biting here. Preparing for our life with our new baby. Okay, good. Now let's get a little bit clearer on that. Preparing for life. You can raise a happy baby in a garbage can. Okay, because with love and just protection and all, but that's probably not what your goal is. So your goal is, what is the life with that new baby like? I mean, or do you want to make sure that you don't saddle them with debt? You don't need to start thinking about 18 years from now, or do you? Right? And does it make sense to make sure the debts are paid and that you can invest in some income producing properties that could spit off cash that will allow you to have freedom so you can spend some time with the baby? Because time with your baby is going to be more important than money, perhaps. So, but time and money go hand in hand. And a lot of times you have one, but you don't have the other. So you either have money and have no time, or you have a lot of time and you have no money. So where's the balance, especially with a new baby? I can relate. You want to actually see him or her. You want to spend time with the family. You want to create experiences. You want to give some good opportunities. You want to be able to provide them with a school that you know that they're going to have their best start in life from. Right, all of these things, and you can set up a 401k for them so they have money one time. You want to buy an investment property one day and give, those are the things I want you to start really clearing about and say, okay, I want to do this. Who's going to watch the kid? How much? What kind of people are you going to watch the kid? Are you going to have someone staying at home? Or you're not? Are you going to have some in-home care? Are you going to? What kind of vacations are you going to have? What kind of, all of these things go into figuring it all out. So the goal is to create a fund for investment properties, create multiple streams of income. Awesome. Good. Now that sounds good. Now, and you don't have to do it right here, but what kind of income are you trying to create the stream for? Right? What is the lifestyle cost that you guys want? Can you live? Do you need 10 grand coming in a month passively? Do you need 15? Do you need 20? Do you need 50? Do you need 30? And do you really need it? What kind of things do you want to do? Because now you got to figure out, all right, what do I need to happen? Let's say the number is 20 grand a month. Cash flow coming in, everything's paid off, you got 20 grand coming in. Is that enough? I don't know. I don't know why you feel like traveling. Where are you going to send the kids to school? Where are you going to be driving? What are you going to be doing? Where are you going to be doing all the stuff that you need to go do? So guys, this is the point. This is just a great example. Brian, thanks for playing along. But you got to have these answers. So when I say, Brian, what's going to happen to you this week? He's going to say, well, 25 grand is going to land in my bank this 25 grand is going to land in my bank account this quarter. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put a down payment. That's going to be 1/3 of the down payment of the triplex I'm going to go buy in Ocala. It doesn't matter, right, with the answer, but what matters is that there's an answer. And then now when he wakes up, he sees that triplex every morning because there's a picture of it as a wallpaper on his phone. And there's a happy baby picture. And there's a relaxed look face when you find a picture of yourself on your phone when you weren't stressed out, you weren't aggravated. And you're like, this is my life. I'm going to have a nice, fun life. I'm going to have multiple streams of income. I'm going to have enough cash. I'm going to have time with my family. We're going to have a nice life. And 25 grand this quarter is going to get me there. So then now for the rest of this quarter, the only thing you have to think about is 25 grand, 25 grand, 25 grand, 25 grand. And then because we know the answer is 25 grand, now it goes really simple to the game. How can I put 25 grand in the bank at the end of this quarter? And then the brain goes to work, right? Because now I know where it's going. I know what I'm going to do with it, and it's going to be simplified. So now we say, okay, how are we going to get this income? Then we go into our simple strategy. It's a game. Okay, where's my lowest hanging fruit, which is going to go into our topic for today. how can I get a deal this week? What is my highest probability of pulling a deal together so I can get a big chunk out of my 25 grand earned this week? Now, what would we do? Right? Does this make sense, guys? I wanted to use Brian as an example of drilling down to something that gets tangible that he gets excited about. Does that make sense, Boma?
Is my audio better?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, I think that though, what you just did is the most important part of that exercise, right? Because I just had this conversation with an agent who's going to be joining us, actually signing with us today. But we went through this exercise, right? Because so often, and I've fallen victim to this many times, we set a goal, but it's an arbitrary goal, right? Oh, I want to do 5 deals. Well, that 5 deals means that I'm going to make 25 grand of income, right? Well, what happens is if I don't actually need that 25 grand, or I don't have a use for that 25 grand, when I get to 15 grand and then I hit a bunch of obstacles, I'm going to stop or not be completely upset because I didn't really need it. And 15 is still pretty good, right? And so we start settling. But what happens is, at least with myself, if I set the goal at 25 and even 15 was pretty good, there's a part of me that's like, I didn't hit my goal though, right? And it has a negative impact on me. If I go to set out to run 10 miles in the morning and I only run 7's still better than running 0. And it's still better than what a lot of other people did that morning. But in my head, I'm like, I fell short of my goal though. I wanted 10, I only got 7. And so that can actually spiral negatively. So the important part is set your goal realistically to what you actually need. You need 25.
Well, let's talk. Pause that for a second. Your 10-mile example was great. You were not committed to 10 miles.
Right.
You were interested in 10
Correct.
miles.
I like the idea.
That was it, but you got to be okay with it.
Like the idea of running 10 miles. But if I only run 7 and I'm actually committed to just running 7, or I'm okay with running 7, I didn't need 10. I just needed more than 5, right? Then 7 would be okay. And I'm going to settle. And that's what happens. We settle. We get comfortable because we don't actually need the goal that we say we're committed to doing. I wasn't committed to running 10, right? And that's the difference. And so my point is,
but here's the point. You didn't have to be committed to running 5.
Right. But
let's be realistic. If you didn't hit 5, you're not going to die, right? You're in good shape. You're not going to die. If you just said, F it, I'm just not going to even run today. Who cares? Right? It doesn't hurt you. You're not going to die. There's no pain, right? See the correlation here, guys?
But here is where the difference is, right? And this is was an unlock for me. So maybe it'll be an unlock for some other people. What I realized was and I'll just stick with running or fitness for this example. Mm-hmm. I am not actually committed to running at all. What I'm actually committed to is the feeling I have post-run, the feeling of just feeling better, right? Of feeling good, feeling confident, liking the way I look, liking the way I feel. That feeling is what I'm actually committed to, and running is the vehicle that gets me there. So what I have found is the more and harder I run, the farther I run, the better I end up feeling afterwards. And I'm addicted to that feeling. So to your point, if I don't get up and run in the morning, am I going to die? No. But what I won't have is that feeling. And that's what drives me to go do it, because I may hate running. I actually like it. But a lot of you may hate going to the gym. But what happens is if you fall in love with the feeling the result you're getting from it, you will become committed to the action getting it. Now that action may change, right? For me, I didn't run a lot pre-COVID. I only went to the gym. All of a sudden the gym's closed. I started searching for another vehicle to get me that same feeling that I got after I worked out. And the option I came across was running, right? And so that's the same thing we do in this business. There's multiple lanes to get to the result we want. And sometimes we have to change lanes. Sometimes it's forced. Sometimes it's just good to change the pace. Sometimes it's just, but that's exactly what we need to do. But you're not going to change lanes. If I wasn't addicted committed, whatever term you want to use, to that feeling, I just would have stopped in total. Oh, gym's closed. That's an excuse to stop, right? That's a justifiable reason. I physically am not allowed to go, right? The government has said you cannot go. They're closed. They're literally, you're not allowed, right? But I didn't. Why? Because I'm 100% committed to that feeling. I want it. And so therefore I'm going to find a way to get it. I can't go there. Great. I'm going to try here. That didn't do it. Okay. I'm going to run more. Nope. 7 didn't do it. Okay, fine. I'm going to run 10 and I'm just going to keep going until I get that feeling. And then eventually I'm going to get used to that feeling and that's not going to do it anymore. Right. So that for me, that was the biggest unlock. I just realized that the actions I was taking was not what I was committed to. It was that feeling afterwards.
I think that's a great analogy. Let me pull it over to real estate for a second, because I know, right? The feeling correlation to real estate is freedom, right? And I think if you boil it all down to what is our actual goal, it's freedom, and it's not happiness. Money's never going to make you happy, right? If you're not happy with yourself right now, more money is just going to be a richer version of your unhappy self, right? It's not going to change anything. So that's a big issue. But the feeling of freedom is an interesting one, to be able to say, I want to go do this and just do it and not worry about what the cost is. That's freedom. That feels good. Your kid wants something and you say yes, right? Because you don't even care about what it costs. That's freedom, right? You want to go on a vacation and you book the outdoor cabin with the huge ass balcony, bigger than the other one, and you don't care that it's $800 more. That's freedom, right? Your ability to go buy an investment property because you have cash and that investment property is going to spin off more cash. That's freedom, right? Ultimately, to know that you have a number on your lifestyle that makes you comfortable and with a big ass smile on your face. I don't want to just say, because we've all been comfortable. Because when we were all flat ass broke, which every one of us was flat ass broke at some point in our lives, we were happy. You're living in a little crappy ass apartment, maybe with 3 other people, broke as hell, but happy, right? So it doesn't change, right? Now stages of life change, and what makes you put a big ass smile on your face changes. But freedom is the ultimate thing. And then you say, okay, well, I want freedom to travel. Okay, then I want freedom to travel first class. Then maybe it's freedom to travel on your own NetJet share. Then, right, maybe it's freedom to travel to a private island with a butler, right? You can keep raising the game, right? Just for fun. That's the 3, 5, 7, 10, 12, 15 miles, right? That's just the game. That's all it is. But ultimately, it's the freedom. And if you've got debt, that's not a good feeling. It's not freedom because you owe somebody else crap. Get rid of that. It feels better, right? And then say what feels better next month and what quarter. What do you think? Let me push myself next quarter. And John wrote in something I think was interesting. I want to hit on that for just a second. He said, talk with your coach about what's reasonably attainable and stretch yourself, but don't burn out, in essence, right? But here's the thing about that. I agree with that at some point, John, but I don't in others, because what's reasonably attainable? That's a limiting belief in my mind for a second, because guys, all we do is talk to people. We get paid to communicate with people. We're in the people and communications business. That's what we do. We find people that want to buy and sell real estate. That's what we do. That is our job, to connect with people, to make people say, I trust you, I like you, I think you're good at what you do, and you care about me. I would like to give the largest financial transaction of my life into your hands so you can advise me, hold my hand, because I trust you. That's all we do. Okay. Now, there's no difference, zero difference. Listen, zero difference in doing that with a $120,000 house or a $12 million house. Zero difference. Zero. Zilch. Zippo. Nada. Zero. What's the difference in check? How many zeros?
Very.
No different work, guys. Zero. It's just mindset of, are you good enough to knock on that door? Right, guys, it's Remind, right? You find the address, you write the letter, you dial the phone number, you text, you video text the exact same freaking message. The same one. Thanks, Tammy. Hi, this is Tammy. I'm trying to call and see about your crack house you own in the middle of Kennett City that's a piece of crap, and I'd like to see if you'd like to sell it so I can make $1.50 on my next commission and aggravate myself with crappy ass showings dealing with people I don't want to deal with. Can I please have your listing? Versus, hey, this is Tammy. I see you've got that beautiful Gulfront home and you live in Ontario. What's going on in your life, guys? It's so crazy right now, the market. We even remotely consider selling it. So I got people that would really be interested in it. What's the difference, guys? It's the exact same conversation, but a check that's either $1,200 or $120,000. The exact same thing. So the limitation is in your mind. What kind of lifestyle do you want? You may not need $120,000 this quarter. You may not think that you're capable of $120,000 this quarter, and you might need it. You might not want it, and you might not going to do it. But a lot of you can and will and should. God, you're sitting here today saying, "Who am I going to call today?" Why on earth would you not call the people that are going to get you somewhere faster? The issue is you don't have anywhere to go, right? If you can't say 120 grand this quarter, I would do this with it. You're never going to get 120 grand. I'm sorry to go so simple on it, guys, but it's not going to possible. It's not happening. Now, do you have to mentally take these steps with your mind and your confidence and your beliefs, and maybe get into 21 online and research some of the fine homes in the States stuff, just so you can feed your drunk monkey that you can handle a high-end listing? It's no different than any other listing, guys. It's not different at all. The rich people have a safe search on Zillow too. It's all it takes right now. Let's demystify this business. It's not hard. You put it out on the marketplace, people find it, you buy it, you sell it. Now we represent and we do all that stuff, and I'm not going to get into that, but it's the exact same process. The only thing is, what do you need this quarter? What do you need this month? What are you committed to? Not what I like to have. Everybody would love to have an extra 100 grand this quarter, but most of us wouldn't know what to do with 100 grand. You'd say, "Oh, I'd save it." No, right? You would take 12,000 to pay off MasterCard. You would do whatever to do this. You would buy a little duplex. Those are the people that are going to get it. That's the difference right there. So what is it that you're looking for? So we're a little off topic, but I think we're on topic because the rest of the topic is irrelevant until we nail this part down.
Yeah, I think that's clearly step one, right? So assuming that you've got step one covered now, you have something you're committed to. And it's a tough conversation to have with yourself, because I think a lot of times what we discover in that process is that we've been lying to ourselves. We've been saying that we want something we don't really want. We've been saying we need something we don't necessarily need. And so once we drill down, if you're able to drill down on yourself, you're going to actually start to figure out what you really want, right?
And
what are you going to get committed to?
And not anybody else's dream for you, right?
Well, then that's the problem, though, right? That's the problem. We all tend to lie to ourselves to appease somebody else: mom, dad, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, kids, somebody, right? It's boss. Like, if I lived my life what Jeff thinks I should do, I wouldn't even live in this house anymore. So at the end of the day, yes, there are a lot of people that I want their opinion and trust and want their advice and do value, right? My wife's opinion matters and what she wants matters, but like, we have real conversations now because her primary aim is different than mine. And I highly suggest, for those of you that have done it, but you haven't had your spouse do it, right? That was one thing that Jeff and Craig really pushed me to do, was have her do one too, because at some point those won't always directly align, and ours do not. However, by knowing what drives her and what she wants her life to look like and what I want mine, and now we can start to figure out how to blend them. And now I can be really honest with it, though. And now it's no longer what I think she wants me to want, it's what I want. And I understand what she wants. And so that there's a lot of power in that, and it will help you as you start to really dive in, right? But that's step one. So assuming you got step one covered, let's move to step two, which is now building a plan and taking action to actually go achieve that. And that is very, very possible this week if you have the right strategy, you're committed to it. Now there's no holding back. There's nothing that's going to stop you. And we dive right in and we go. So, Jeff, if you obviously have some big plans to make this the best week of your life, what would be action number one, though? If you're an agent, you got your goals set, you know what you want to do, who are you calling? Now, obviously, this is going to be different for every agent, right? Because every agent has a slightly different goal, different business, different strategy. There are people that, but at the end of the day, I think you say this all the time, it comes back down to there's two types of people you know and people you don't know, right? So which one are you going to talk to first?
It depends, right? It depends. How, because there's two thoughts that we have to come across right now. Am I building my business or am I doing a deal? Okay. And major difference. Stop calling me, people. So that's the biggest question. So am I looking to grow my business, build my brand, or am I looking to get some cash, right? And either one's okay, but they're different strategies. Different strategies completely. Because long term, now similar things, but different. Now I'm going to go on a hunting mission if I need a deal this week. I'm going to go on a branding mission to build multiple deals for next year and next quarter, right? You guys get the difference there? So let's find the hybrid and let's talk about that as a difference. If I need to go get a deal right now, I'm going to think about this. I do not want to turn a no into a maybe, and I don't want to find a maybe. Follow me? And most of our life, guys, is turning no's into maybes and nurturing the maybes until they become yeses. And that's okay. That's a critical part of any business, no matter what business you're in, right? You've got to go through the no's to find the maybes and turn the no's into a maybes, and then the maybes turn into yeses. That's just what we do. But that doesn't feed you most of the time this week. So what if I have to get a deal this week? I need to find the yes, right? I need to find the yes. And I need you to understand the difference there. Every lead, I was talking to somebody the other day that was complaining about leads, right? There's not one bad lead ever. It's just very poor execution and bad agenting and being a bad salesperson. There's not a bad lead. There's just unrealistic expectations, okay? Every single person you meet is going to buy something from you. Every single person you talk to is worth $5,000 from a transaction. Every single one of them, just maybe not this month. Okay? Everyone has a sphere. Everyone's got a family. Every one of them is going to have life happen to them. Every one of them is going to do a real estate most of them are going to do real estate transactions or be able to feed you one of them. So those of you who think leads suck or whatever it is, the leads don't suck. Your execution of those leads sucks, right? So question is, if I have a pile of leads, I'm going to call or text every one of those leads right now. And I'm going to basically say, are you a yes yet? Or are you still a no? Or are you still a maybe? I don't care the answer. I really, truly don't, because I need you as a maybe, because I also want to eat in October. Got it? But I don't care really about going to put you in my car today. So I would talk to every lead that I have right now, or else it's really stupid to even have a lead. Do you agree with that? Call them. Every lead that you have right now. Hey, this is Jeff. I know we haven't talked in a little while. Checking in with you guys. What's going on with life? You guys ready to buy some real estate? No, great. What's going on? How's your dog Fluffy? How's the kids? What's going on? Awesome. Tell you what, when would you like me to follow up with you again? How would you like for me to reach out with you? Okay, make sure you save my number. Any questions, you call me. Are you talking with a lender? Let me get you in touch with my friend Dave. Okay, bye. Click. You're not my yes. Next one. Hey guys, it's Jeff Baggett Central. Listen, I ran into an open house 3 months ago. I haven't stayed in touch or figure life's going on. What's going on with you guys? You guys any closer to making a decision? Why would I do that? Why would I go through this list of phone numbers?
Those are people that already know you, like you, and trust you to some degree. And it's all about staying top of mind. If you hit enough of them, one of them is now going to think of you. And if one of them happens, even if they're not ready, happens to have a conversation later that day or sees a
Facebook post from one of their friends from Kentucky that it's now, hey, I think I'm moving to Florida. You're the first person to pop in their mind because you just reached out to them, right? This is how this works from a mental side.
So that's what I would do. I would dig into your purse, not you, Mike. Dig into your purse, pull out the
I've got one.
balled up pieces of paper and call them, right? Call the leads that you have and see who wants to buy or sell real estate right now. And then likely most of them don't right now, but you're going to at least know their time frame and what's going to be next, and then put them into CRM later. That's not my mission for this week. My mission is to find a deal. So I either find one in there or I don't find one in there. And then I'm going to go to hunting. Now, those are people that showed actual interest in buying or selling real estate. That's number one. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, who do I know in my life that has one of the 3Ds happening to them? The 3Ds, the driver of the real estate business, death, debt, and divorce, right? And then the kids and marriages and all that stuff come in. Life. Who has life happening to them? And I'm going to sit and I'm going to think, and I'm going to scroll through my phone. I'm going to scroll through my Facebook feed and my Instagram, and I'm going to say, who's got life happening to them? I might take 5 minutes and just go through and say, I wonder what's going on with Charlie. I haven't talked to Charlie in a while. Blah, 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 blah. Now, this is my close friends. This is not my buddy from elementary school. That's my long lost Facebook friends. I see a post every other year for. This is my good friend that I went to college with that I maybe haven't talked to enough, but we're good friends. I'm going to reach out to my core world and say, what's going on? I haven't talked to you in a while. How's life? What's going on with you? And then the conversation is going to get, what's going on with you? Well, I'm, still just kicking ass in real estate. It's frustrating as hell though, because we got all these buyers crawling out of the woodworks. Properties are worth more than they've ever been before. And I just can't find people that ready to sell right now. It's hard to find them. Well, shit, you know a lot of people I don't know. Who in your life? Who's getting married? Who's getting divorced? Who's having kids? Who's moving in your world right now? Right? And I'll just bring that up in conversation. Say, really, honestly, think for me for a second, Charlie. Think for a second. Who do you know that's getting married? Nobody. Okay. Who's having kids? Do you know anybody getting divorced? You know anybody that's moving? Who's got something going on? I would have that conversation with my 5 or 10 close friends when I call to catch up with them, right? And guess what's going to happen? To your point, I'm going to go back to top of mind, which I was not. And number 2, I might intercept a deal that's going on in the world right now. Right. So this is the order of what I would be doing today. And I'm not telling them to call 400 people. That's just what I do. And then this is hand-to-hand combat, right? And then I want you to talk about what I can be augmenting with some posts and things, exactly what I could be saying or doing to maybe scurry up something. And then if that doesn't work,
I want to preface this real quick though, right? Because this is why step 1 is so important, because there's a lot of you who are going to get inspired by this meeting today, and you're going to start reaching out to these people. And by the time we're done, you're going to realize that you're going to spend all day reaching out to these different levels of what I would call your sphere, right? Different, and obviously different touch points. You're going to do all this, and zero is going to come from it, right? You're not going to get any direct answer. And most of you are going to stop because you didn't actually do step 1. Now, for those of you that properly do step 1, 0 people say yes today. Guess what you're going to do tomorrow? Same thing. And then 0 say tomorrow. Guess what you're going to do on Wednesday? Same thing. And you're going to keep going until you get the yeses that you need. But you're only going to do that if you got step 1 in place. So I just want to tie back in. This is why step 1 is important, because this is a numbers game and it is very unlikely. Now, I hope you do this and you get 5 deals today. And if you do, great. If that helps you hit your goal, great. Then you're done, right? Facilitate those deals, get them done. But if you don't, and you're not committed to something, you will stop. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where that roadblock happens. And you either decide you're done because you don't need it, or you're going to say, nope, screw that. Still need it. Just didn't get it today. Whoop, keep going.
Yep.
So just want to make that point, but continue.
And then if that doesn't work, to your point, my step 1 is so clear. Nothing's going to stop me because it's not even an option. And how could I not have step one fulfilled? It's just, it doesn't even, it's not a possibility. 0% chance I will not get what I want out of my step one. I will be living the
Right.
lifestyle exactly as I've designed it, and I will have the income flow to support some big ass smile experiences and journeys and adventures. 0% chance it's not going to happen. Not even possible. Not even a possibility. Right. So I'll just keep going and keep going. That's all I'm going to do because there's no other option. 0.
Yep.
Got it? So then I'm going to go, all right. So perfect example. We're looking for an investment property. I'm always looking for cash flow, right? Cash flow. So I'm looking for investment properties. I'd like an investment property close to me so I don't have to go drive and look at it, right? So I was talking to Vipka this morning and saying, God, I really want to get something in this neighborhood. And there's nothing for sale in this neighborhood. And I said, damn it. You know, I talk about it. This is honestly this morning's conversation. I talk about this all the time, how simple it is. I just don't have time to get in to Remind. She goes, what's Remind? I said, Remind's a really cool data program that can just show who owns what, how much, when they bought it, how much they paid for it, are they likely to sell or not sell? And it gives you their address and many times their phone number. She's like, well, why doesn't everybody just use that? I'm like, that's a great question, right? And she's like, well, shit, I'll do that. I said, okay, here's how you do it. And just go through and find something in this neighborhood of somebody who wants to sell next. I would go to high sell scores in Remind in an area where I was looking to have a listing, right? In this case, something I want to buy off market. And I'd say, hey, you want to sell your extra hat? For those of you who were on our call a couple weeks ago, you got an extra house sitting around. Do you really need it? You want to sell it? What would you do with it? I'd like to buy it, or I'd like to sell it for it. I'd like to get it on the market. I'd like to monetize that asset for you. Because right now it's doing nothing for you. It is trapped equity. It is on paper. It is not real. Do you have anything real you would like to do with money that this could be translated into money for you? Because I could convert this asset of dirt and blocks into cash. And if you have a reason to spend that cash, then you should monetize that dirt and blocks and trade that in for cash. If you don't have anything to do with cash, keep your blocks and your dirt because it's a good investment. But if any of you want to do something else and you'd like some money, this dirt and block can be converted. Would you like to convert it? Yes or no? Right? And some will say no, some will say maybe. I don't care about the no's and the maybes. What do I want right now? The yes. Right? And somebody will say, funny you called. We were just thinking about maybe selling that and buying an RV or whatever that. I don't care what they want to do with the cash. They want to do something. And so I will keep calling until somebody says yes. Right. And I would check that neighborhood. If that neighborhood didn't work, I would do the next neighborhood. Then I would do the next neighborhood. Then I would do the next neighborhood. What else are you going to do? Really, what else are you going to do with your day to day? Nothing. It doesn't make any sense. Trying to find inventory is the name of the game right now. I don't know if you need the reminder, but guys, we are just a bunch of crazy ass Americans stuck on an island to ourselves right now. The rest of the world can't even come play here. They will soon. And when they do, they're going to want to buy stuff. There's no secret, guys. And if you don't have inventory, you're dead. We're putting 40 something properties on the market today, right? I'm so excited about it. We're listing the residences and listing 12 townhomes. There's 40 million bucks in inventory hitting the market today. How long do you think that's going to take to sell?
Couple weeks, maybe.
Yes. And in any other market, I would never be able to say that ever. But I know for a fact that's going to happen. And all I could do is try to find more.
I'm actually upset about it because I'm building out this entire like landing website for it. And I know that by the time I'm like really done with it, they're probably already going to be sold out. And then I really just did it all for no reason. But that's neither here or there. Continue.
Right. But see, guys, see that that's the point. The drive is I know everything that you list is going to sell. I know it's going to be converted into cash. I just don't know if you have a use for the cash. So the only thing we could fix is you having a use for the cash, and then you go find things that produce cash. And then all of a sudden you have it, and you've got new cool stuff. And you're like, this is awesome. I like this lifestyle. Let me get used to this one. Hey, I wonder what's next. Right? And then you do that. Right? That's it. So our focus, our drive, our passion, right? As your business partners, which is what we are, as your coaches, as your friends, as part of your family, guys. We spend more time together than we do sometimes with our families, right? Our job is to help each other get fired up, to go make cash, to buy cool stuff, that spits off cash. That's it. That's the name of the game. And if you don't have that stuff yet, no problem. Let's go get it. It's no problem. It's easy. It's simple. Just go get it. That's the fun part. So that's the order of what I would do today. I'd call everybody that I have that has expressed interest in buying or selling something before, because it's kind of stupid not to, right? Don't you think? They said they want to buy something or sell something. Just see if they're ready yet, and put them in the yes, no's, or maybe buckets. And no's or maybes, I'll talk to you later. Where's my yes? I need a yes this week. Then I'm going to call my good friends and find out what's going on in their world. I'd call my past clients. I'd include them in that list and say, hey, Mike, how you guys doing? How's the house going? How about your neighbors? You got anything else going on? Or this, this market's blah, 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 right? And then once I exhaust my close friends, I don't want to spend time talking to my old friends from elementary school that I don't really give a crap about on Facebook. I don't want to do that. I would rather spend my time talking to the guy who lives in Chicago that owns a house for the last 20 years in my neighborhood that's sitting on sick ass equity and he doesn't know it. And I would rather call him. That's me personally, but I enjoy that hunt. That hunt is cool. And then I would just keep going. And then I promise you I'd find something. And then I'd find something. So those of you, let me hit one thing before. When you're looking for the next deal, you control where you look. And I want to hit that point one more time. Hit the expensive houses, guys. Stretch yourself. Go to the next level. If your most expensive listing has been 300, go get a 400 one. Why not? If the most expensive one was $500,000, go to a 750. Try $1 million. Have you never done $1 million property? There's a lot of them now, a lot more than there were a year and a half ago. Call them. Have you done $1 million? Have you done a 2? Call them. Call the 2. You have to call the 5. Call them. You done the 5, but have you done a 10? Call them. You done a 10, but have you done a 20? Call them. You done the 20, done the 50? Call them. Exact same process, right? But you've got to make sure step 1 matches up with that one, or to Mike's point, you're going to fall short because this drunk monkey is going to say, dude, you're not in the league of $5 million owner. They've got rich friends that are already agents. What are you going to bring to the table that they can't bring? I mean, shit, they could call Jennifer Zale. She's got 5 pages in the Luxury Homes magazine. How are you going to compete with that, dumbass? Sit your ass down. Go call that crack house in Kenneth City, right? That's what you're dealing with, right? So unless your step 1 is strong enough, you're going to listen. That's it, guys. It's that simple. So step 1 says, this is what I'm going to go do, and I'm going to go do it. But and baby steps, right? Low hanging fruit, and just think about it. It just lower the bar to reality, and your reality is step 1. And I say it's reality because I don't care what anybody else thinks I should be doing. I don't care what anybody else thinks my lifestyle should be. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how I want to live my life, right? And what I want to do with my life, and what does that income cost to live my life this way? That's it, right? So get clear on that and say, okay, my life costs this. Do I have this? Nope, I only have that. Well, the difference between that and this is this much. How many deals do I need to do to get there? Done. Then I do the same example at the end of Q3 and I say, okay, Q4, I'm living this way. Do I like it? Yeah. You want to do anything different? Nope. Okay, cool. Well, then it takes this much to live. Okay, well, I better go get this many deals. Good. Right. And then Q1, you say, well, I'm kind of bored now. I'd like to see what it takes to do that next level. Well, good. How much is that? Well, it's that. Do you have that? Nope. I only have this. Well, how much between this and that? That. Okay, well, then now I need to know what I need to do for Q1. Boom. Got it. See the simple, guys? It's simple, guys, but it's step 1. Step 2, you guys freaking know it. Every one of you knows how to sell freaking real estate. You know how to prospect. You know what to say. You know how to say it. You got Beggins agents right in front of you. You got the teachable platform. You got every video on the planet. You got every single one of us. And you know how to list property. You know how to sell property. If you don't, you got somebody that will hold your hand and go with you. So step 2 is done. Done. The only thing missing is step 1. That's it. Now, what would you do? What would you do from a leveraging platform to your sphere, Puma? I'm going a little hand-to-hand combat, get on the phones, text them out, go there. So what would you do to augment this to help bring some business in?
I think hand-to-hand combat is super important. But I also think that strategizing that hand-to-hand combat and being as contextual as possible while doing it is super important. And then I think supplementing that, using content and using, so here's, from a social perspective, here's the thing, right? When you message or you engage with someone one-on-one, so let's say part of my strategy would be start with your CRM. All right, to your point, those are your leads. Those are people that have shown interest to buy or sell. They wouldn't be in your CRM otherwise. Start there. Reach out to those people. Then I'm going to start going into my phone. I'm going to start with the A's, and I'm going to go A through Z in my phone, reaching out to all of those people, because those are people that I likely have a bigger connection with than even any social platform, because there's a lot of people that I have in my phone that I do not have on my social channels, right? So social maybe a little bit more distance, where the people in my phone matter more. So I'm going to go through my phone and I'm going to text, call, whatever you want to those people, right? And I'm going to do it contextual to the person. So if I was reaching out to Craig, I know Craig, I'm going to call, right? If I'm reaching out to Jeff and I know Jeff likes text, I'm going to text, right? So for me, that's going through my head. If I know what their preferred method of contact is, I'm going to enter their world and I'm going to reach out to them that way. But I'm going to go through my phone, hey, what's going on in your world? How can I help? Crazy times we're living in. How are the kids? How are the family? And then we're going to dive into hopefully starting a real estate conversation. That's second thing. Then I'm going to go through every social platform that I'm on, right? So for me, that would be Instagram, that would be Facebook, that would be LinkedIn, would be my top 3. And each one of those, I have a sphere of people, and each one of those is slightly different, right? From a context perspective. And I'm going to start messaging people on there. And the advantage to that as well is that I have some insight. I can look at their profile really quick, see what their most recent posts are, see how the kids are doing, see if they celebrated something recently, right? So on LinkedIn, if I see that John Smith just got promoted to VP, great. Now I have a great conversation starter with John to reach out and say, hey, John, it's been a while, man. Saw you just got promoted. That's awesome. Congratulations. How's that going? And we can start a conversation. Again, this is a business of conversations, right? So now I have the ability to start a conversation with my CRM. I have the ability to start a conversation with people in my phone. Now I have a conversation to start with people on 3 different platforms. So if I do that strategically, I'm putting myself in a really good position right there. Now, what happens on a social perspective is that if I message Jeff and me and Jeff start chatting, what does that tell the Facebook algorithm? That Jeff cares about what Mike has to say. So now when I supplement that, Jeff says, no, actually, yeah, things are good, crazy busy. But yeah, I mean, if anyone comes to mind, I'll definitely think of you. But right now I can't think of anyone. Okay. So now I let Jeff be. I'm not going to be that slimy salesperson like, Jeff, I need somebody. Stop. Give me somebody. We're not in the forced sale business.
Pause for a quick second. Can you, just as a simple little thing, to trick the algorithm or to reevaluate the algorithm, shouldn't you like a couple of my last posts?
Absolutely. Because what happens is, if you're strategic about it, for me, if I was an agent, for example, every single client that I had, I would friend on Facebook and I would start following and I would start engaging on their content for one reason and one reason only. I know that that's going to tell Facebook that I care about what they're posting, and they're going to continue to put their stuff in my newsfeed. The reason that's important is now, rather than me having to search out and do a lot of work, I can simply scroll and I'm going to start seeing Jeff and John and all the people that I've just gone and liked. They're going to be in my newsfeed. So now it's super easy for me to like, comment, and engage. Now I'm staying top of mind constantly, right? And so if I want to stay in front of Jeff and I want to start trick the algorithm to say, hey, Mike cares about Jeff, and Jeff probably will care about Mike since Mike's, commenting on every post. That's how this game is played from an engagement perspective. So now when I start commenting, I start engaging. Now when I start posting stuff, even if it's the silly dad joke on Fridays. Now I can leverage the power of the brand, right? This is in my opinion the biggest thing that a brand like Century 21 brings to the table. The fact that I can make a joke about Floridians in general or anything, right? Our last Friday was the dog bowl joke. The fact that I can do a dog bowl joke that's terrible, but have that logo on there, and subconsciously every single person who sees that post sees Century 21 and associates me to real estate is so powerful. Like, I think it's so underrated because I don't have to sit there and be boring and talk about real estate all the time to get Jeff to know that I'm in real estate. I can say whatever I want and put that logo on there, and instantly I'm associated to real estate. That is super powerful. So I make this, now I'm producing content, and now it pops up in Jesse. Now I'm saying top of mind, right? Now I actually have the chance for Jeff, whether it's 2.5, 3 weeks later, whenever it is, boom, it's going to hit him and he's going to reach out. And I know this works. I actually just sent a referral through Ashley to Tallahassee because someone that I used to work with that I have not directly talked to in a while, I had reached out to him because I saw their daughter was going to FSU, just reached out and said, hey, I can't believe how big she's gotten. That's crazy. Like, I remember when she was literally like 5. That's unreal. Hope all is well. We messaged a little bit. I constantly post. A month goes by. All of a sudden I get a message. Hey, can you help us refer me to someone in Tallahassee? Because we'd like to buy a place up there for her now that we've gotten settled. That's it, right? So now Beggins is going to get the business simply by referring to an in-network agent up in Tallahassee. This is how the game is played, right? So again, this isn't necessarily, that's not getting a deal today, right? But we have to farm, and we have to have strategies that could potentially get us the deal today and potentially get us a deal tomorrow or a month from now. And that's why both sides of this are important. That's why we start with the CRM. That's why we start with our phone, and then we start dwindling down to these platforms. But the platforms are important because we can leverage, we can have strategy, we can trick, if you will, these platforms into helping us. And then I'm going to do the same thing in the groups. And then I'm also going to make sure that I touch base with all of my industry contacts, my roofing friends, my plumbing friends, my mortgage guys, all of them. I'm going to be. Why? Because yes, do they have other agents that they also refer to? Yep. Did any of them reach out to them today? I don't know. But I know if I do, and then later today, they happen to talk to someone and now they need to make a referral, who's going to be top of mind? Me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm in their ear way more than any other agent. So all of my business partnerships are going to hear from me as well. And now the important thing is, if I'm doing this, I'm setting this up so that I have, after doing this day after day, week after week, I'm going to have my database split up in A, B, and C. And A are my people that I'm going to do this with and touch base with on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And then B's are going to be my monthly basis. And then C's might be my every other month, right? And I'm going to categorize them based on relationship, based on where they are in my pipeline. And the reason that's important is now I can have a strategy on saying, now I know who I need to reach out to, right? Okay, all my A's are my top prospects. These are the people that are my biggest referral sources. I'm going to touch base with them much more frequently than I am maybe one of my past clients who I can do every other month. Right? So you guys see the point? Have a strategy based on your business, and that's going to be slightly different for each of you. But that's what I would do. That's literally how I'd set this up. And I'm going to treat LinkedIn differently than I treat Instagram, differently than I treat Facebook. And I'm going to do it on all three.
Yeah. One other thing I was just thinking about is when you go and comment on your friend's post or your client's post or a group's post or any of that, you are psychologically owning them. And other agents who are being slack asses and are not doing that are going to submit to you because you're active and aggressive and you're owning them, and they're saying, shit, I'm not going to reach out because look, they're already friends with Tammy. Oh, look, Tammy's all over their posts. They're clearly friends. I'm not even going to try. Right. So what you're doing is you're marking your territory. And by doing this as well, by owning the groups and owning your friends' spheres and your past client spheres, and it cost you zippo. I mean, a half hour of concerted effort is it. And that daily marketing guide, if you're not hitting that daily marketing guide, you're missing a huge boat that cost you nothing. So really, I mean, stake your claim, guys. That's the name of the game.
And last thing too, from a social perspective, especially for you guys who are selling stuff and are productive, really be, because I get tired of seeing this on LinkedIn, especially the just solds that you're posting every day. Just stop. Okay. Listen, having that success is huge. Telling your sphere about it in a way that is impactful is a good idea. You constantly saying, I just sold this, and putting the price and all of that in the way that most agents do it, in my opinion, is actually having more detriment to the larger part of your sphere than you even realize. That would be that'd be like your friend who works at a company saying, just completed my Excel spreadsheet, just did this report, just did this, right? Do they update you on their day on what they did at work? No. Now, do I think you should market, hey, I just sold this, right? Because it does speak to your experience and your success. Yes. Through storytelling. You telling me with a picture of the house and the price you sold it for, great, you made money, awesome. No, that's not what your sphere cares about. You telling the story of that transaction, that couple, the struggle. We looked for 7 months, but we did not give up. Whatever it is, tell the story. Not
we got beat out on 4 other offers.
100%. Because I know you put in the work. I know you represented them at the highest level. Maybe you did something that you couldn't have done unless you were a single agent. Who knows? Whatever the story, you guys have successes in every transaction because every transaction, the simplest transaction, takes work and takes skill. So you did something that you should brag about, but you just bragging and not actually telling the story, in my opinion, is far more detrimental than it is helpful. So for all of you just posting a picture of the house with the purchase price and just sold, great, you did your job. End of story, right? So I just think there's so much more damage being done there versus you leveraging that to say, hey, here's how I am different, which is telling the story and not just bragging, because that's what people want.
It gives them something to connect with.
100%, right? We always say, when you turn on Netflix, are you looking for the ad or Hulu, right? I watch Hulu. When you're watching your show on Hulu, are you fast forwarding through the show to get to the next commercial, right? Or is the commercial where you go and get a new drink, get a snack, and then you come back to watch the show? Why? Because the show is the story. The commercial is trying to sell you something in an ad, right? It's bragging on their product. It's not telling a story. So just want to throw that out there because I've seen it time and time again, not necessarily from our agents, although I'm sure some of you do it, because it's a logical thing to do. Hey, you're proud of yourself, and you should be. But the way we market that success, to me, in my opinion, matters a lot. So I would say start really thinking about storytelling on these platforms versus just trying to congratulate yourself with a humble brag about the $750,000 listing you just sold.
Love it. Time flies when you're having fun. We are out of time. So hopefully you guys got some value out of today. And guys, go get step 1 done. And if you need help, reach out to one of your managers and let us kick you in the butt and make sure you're clear on step 1, because step 2 will follow.
That's it.
So Make it the best, most fun, most profitable week you've ever had in your life. And it's up to you. So have a wonderful
Have a
time.
great week, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.